Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret you're going to want to stick around for, because I'm going to tell you why many self-published authors out there are making a huge mistake that is causing them to lose lots of money they would have made otherwise. So let's get into it. The question that was sent in to me today was, it was not the question, but rather the issue is the top 3 mistakes people make self-publishing a book. Now, this is a very big issue that a lot of people have. There's a whole series of mistakes that people can make, but the 3 top mistakes are the ones that are costing you the most money possible when you're trying to get your book onto the market. So that is what I'm going to hit today. This is Chris Baird from SelfPublishingMadeEasyNow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe bell if you want me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description and grab a copy of my free self-publishing checklist to make sure you're not making the mistakes that many other self-publishers are making. So, top 3 mistakes people make self-publishing a book? Let me get into my story. I can tell you when I first started publishing back in the year 2015, I was making all of the main mistakes. Now there was a few that I wasn't making, but I can tell you, let's just hit a couple. I was paying too much for my cover. I was paying too much for editing. I was having other people do my formatting and then having to redo it myself, costing me lots of money on that. I was waiting too long to get my book onto the market. I was not publishing enough or writing enough. I was thinking I had to do all of the writing myself. I was putting multiple books under different genres under my name, which decreases my authority in any of those areas. So these were just a few of the mistakes I was making in the first couple of months. Only 6 months to a year, I was making all of these mistakes when I was putting my book on the market. Now some of these are not the ones we're going to hit today as the top 3, but I wanted to get into just a little bit of some of the mistakes that I was making because I was going it alone, wasn't listening to anybody else, just going through a book that was explaining how to do it, but didn't tell me how the big mistakes that I could be or was making when I was self-publishing. So what are then the top 3 mistakes people make self-publishing a book? Let's get into it. Here they are. Number 1, they never get their book published. Now, I don't know about you, but there's all sorts of reasons we don't do it because we're so busy. Of course, we have time for Netflix and other things like that, but we're so busy we just don't have time to get it out. Or we're a perfectionist. We shouldn't put a book onto the market until it is perfect. Because after all, if it's not perfect, it isn't going to sell. Does that make sense? And so that's another challenge that a lot of people have when they're first getting started with self-publishing, is that they have expectations that everything needs to be absolutely flawless before they're even going to bother to get going in the first place. And that's another huge issue that a lot of people have. The next issue is that they don't optimize their book. And this one is a pricey one. They didn't choose the right market in the first place. Your content is terrible in terms of the way that it's formatted. And when they look at the table of contents, it doesn't really reflect, as opposed to using your chapter headings as selling points for your book. When people look at your book, they're not doing that. The editing is awful on the books that you're putting on the market. You're not using the keywords, and your title are incorrect. They're not drawing people in. When they do searches, they're not finding you. Wrong keywords. Your description is based upon just telling people what the book's about, as opposed to selling them on your book. And then when we finally do get the book onto the market, our pricing is off. We're not making what we should be making. We should be selling our single books. We're making $2 on each one on our ebooks. And on our print version, we should be making $5 and raising the prices whenever we're getting about 6 to 10 sales in a given month. So these are a few of the big mistakes. And the final one is when it does get onto the market, we're making a major mistake in not marketing it correctly, not running the ads we need to. And the secret answer of the day is that people, they don't push their book into all possible formats: audiobook, paperback on Amazon and Amazon KDP print, and also Ingram Spark. The hardback covers on Lulu, and getting an audiobook and ebooks on Smashwords, so that these things are coming through all of the different formats possible. But don't let that make you make the first mistake. First, get it out on Kindle Direct Publishing, and then you can move from there. And then we're pushing it through all the formats and all of the markets. And this single mistake is a huge one that literally can cause you to make only a quarter of the money you would have made otherwise. And I've seen this time and time again with people doing this exact mistake. So do not be a person who is doing that. Finally, top 3 mistakes people make self-publishing a book. Tell me which mistakes you've made. I'd love to hear below in the comments, and check up above me here for more answers to your self-publishing questions and to find out the mistakes you're making. Thanks.